Good morning, everybody. Welcome to week 5. Wow, we're almost through. And I'll talk about, again, this is all very fast. It is for me too. It's a lot of work. And certainly, yeah, there've been some errors on my part and just trying to figure things out. So, still, I'm glad you're bearing with me, and everything, will be fine. Yeah, everything will be fine, and I'll explain what that means in a little bit. So I did want to talk about a couple things. I'm going to be grading this coming week and trying to get a bunch of grading back to you, especially on your essays. On the 16th, I'm going to be driving all day. So if you're turning in your annotated bibliography, a little late on the 15th or 16th, then I won't, get back to you until the 17th. So just so you know, but I do want to get back, to you quickly about your proposal and annotated bibliography so you can move forward with your research essay, okay? You'll notice for this week, there's no peer review for the proposal and annotated bibliography. I took that out. Instead, there is a discussion on research topics. So kind of your proposal. Certainly you might, right, you should mention sources there, what you found so far. Hopefully you've started that research already, put something together, at least tentatively. Okay, but yeah, no peer review this week. The peer review for the last week for the research essay is a different format this time because that discussion format was confusing and hard to grade. And again, I said before I was advised to do it that way, but it doesn't work for an English class. So what I'm doing is it's an assignment. Your rough draft will be due, and the peer review requirement is on that assignment. So you will be doing peer review a little bit differently. Hopefully it works well. You can report back to me if it doesn't, or even if it does, report back to me. Tell me how it went. I don't have a rubric for that. Set up, within the peer review. I'm not even sure exactly how that works at this point. But again, I do say use the English 100 rubric and certainly the research essay assignments, right? So again, try to give some good feedback. This is the culminating project. It's worth 200 points, so it's worth more than the other essays. And so do try to give some good feedback, again, according to the rubric and according to the assignment sheet. Hit on, key points, important points. You will notice for week 5 and 6, I've given you less work. There's a quiz and a discussion this week. Next week, it's a peer review and your research essay. Because the research essay is a big part of the grade and the proposal and annotated bibliography, the whole thing together is, right, 300 points. So I want you to be able to concentrate on doing your research and getting those last, essay, the research essay done and completed. So you just can focus on that mostly, right, for these last couple weeks. So I'm giving you, just less work, and that's intentional. I just want you guys to be able to focus on your research essay. Again, you do have that research topic discussion. Feel free to shoot me an email if you have a research question that you want to throw at me, see if it works. Remember, right, for the proposal, I do want a research question. You should start off, and again, if you haven't, you may not have gotten to the research essay page where I explain what a research essay is and have resources for you to look at to kind of explain what a research essay is and what the process is. But you should always enter a research essay with an open mind. You should have a question you want to answer. You should do good research to find the best answer you can find. So don't go in saying, thinking, well, I'm a meat eater, so I'm going to go in and trash vegetarianism, for example, or veganism. Go in with an open mind, see what the benefits are. But of course, focus. If you're going to talk about a topic like vegetarianism or veganism, why is it better? I would ask, right, well, better for what? Is it better for the environment? Is it better for nutrition? Is it better, for workers? Whatever it is, okay? The other thing with the research topic is it doesn't have to be, come from the books we've read. It can certainly be something that Paulin talked about, or maybe you're interested in, the ideas of, our good and cheap cookbook, and are these real solutions or recipes for low income people to use to still maintain a healthy diet. But you can certainly, go into anything food related, and food relates to lots of things. Climate change. Usually I teach, another book that does talk more about climate change and food's relationship to it. But climate change, certainly, workers' rights. I mean, the majority of people working in, in the production end of the food industry are people of color. Lots of undocumented workers, lots of African-American workers. And they're generally really horrible jobs where people are exposed to lots of dangers of, physical harm, and of course, long-term exposure to toxins and cancer-causing, chemicals. Fast food workers, again, right, a fairly, can be a very dangerous job, actually, and of course not very well paid. So, I mean, there's lots of places you can go. Maybe you want to look at, how sustainable is this kind of pastoral or grass farming. This perhaps, maybe you feel that Paulin romanticized it a bit too much, and you want to look into it. You could also, of course, go in person. There are lots of farms around us on the peninsula, in Marin, in the East Bay. There are farm CSAs, community-supported agriculture in the East Bay and Oakland specifically, focused on the rights of African Americans, people of color in general, but indigenous people, and supporting people who have, are impacted right now, impacted by the COVID crisis, by unemployment, low income people. But there are farms, that focus on that throughout the country. But of course, there are also lots of smaller, these kind of pastoral farms that Paulin talks about. It could be interesting to look into. So yeah. Think, go wild with your topics as long as they help us address how should we eat. I'm really interested in seeing, what you're interested in, what you want to find out about, how you eat or how we eat and what impacts it has. Okay? Excuse me. And on that topic, certainly if you are interested in something that Paulin discusses, look at his resources in the back of the book, right? His bibliography, which I believe is called the resources. I don't have the book. Oh, I do. It's called Sources. He's got a huge long list of sources. So you can certainly look at those. Some of them will still have pertinent information. I mean, the book is, 20 years old, 19 years old. No, it's not that old. It's 14 years old. But anyway, you can also find, of course, more current, articles about that information. But certainly, sometimes it's valuable to look at the sources of a textbook you're reading to see if there's anything interesting or that interests you. And I could talk forever about possible topics. From mycology mushroom, using mushrooms to remove toxins from the environment, and there are lots of research has been done on that. They use them now to clean up they use oyster mushrooms to clean up oil spills, to actually break down the petroleum and make it into something non-toxic. Yeah, but there's lots. So, yeah, feel free to kind of go where you want to with that. All right, let me move on. So you'll see for these couple assignments that are coming up. Let me see. Where can I do this? There it is. All right, I can't do it. Anyway, I wanted to show you. So I should have wanted you guys to see my face today, but I also wanted you to show you the computer screen, and I can't do that right now. But in week 4, right, I have the descriptions of the research essay assignment, the sample, and the proposal and annotated bibliography. I had some dates, just from editing mistakes. I had some dates wrong. I had the research essay due in August, which is of course false. That was never the case. But originally I had it due for the 15th. I just moved it up a day to the 14th because I'm leaving on the 16th. And if you turn it in on the 14th, that'll give me time on the 15th to give everybody feedback. If you turn it in later, it's fine. Like I said, I won't be able to get back to you until the 17th. And if you turn it in later than that, that should be okay. Again, the whole point of the annotated bibliography is so I can give you feedback so you know, okay, this is good. I've got some good sources. I've got a good idea so I can move forward. Okay? So that's why I want you to give that to me as soon as possible. But there's some flexibility, and I'll explain that in a little bit. I'm going to say right now that the library annotated bibliography is optional. I'm not sure how quickly the librarians are supposed to, get back to you about that and give you feedback on the form you fill out. And if you look at the form, it's actually a really nice form. And when it has you fill out the annotated bibliography or the annotations part and the bibliography part, the citations. And then they have 3 boxes asking you to summarize your source, evaluate its credibility, and explain its relevancy to your topic. That's exactly what I'm asking you to do on the annotated bibliography you're turning into me. So it's a good worksheet just to use for yourself, even if you don't turn it into the library. Okay, and again, ideally the librarians would get back to you, but it may take them a while. I'm not sure. It's been a little tough working with everyone because we're all working remotely. But it is a good worksheet. So again, if you go to the library final assignment, annotated bibliography, there's a link for you to download the assignment sheet. You can use that and fill it out, and that'll help you compile the annotated bibliography for my assignment. Okay, but I'll say for the library final assignment, I'll consider that optional. They have points attached to it, so certainly if you want to do it. But yeah, it won't necessarily count. It'll help you, and if you want to do it for extra credits, we could work something like that out. Okay. The other thing, all right. Also for research again, sorry. Use the library database. Don't just Google. Use the library database. Find good sources. Don't give me an essay at the end where you've got all these web sources like WebMD and just these crap sources. Excuse my language, but yeah, not sources you want to use. Most of the time when you do a Google search, the first sources that come up are going to be not good to use, not credible. So be careful, and hopefully you pay attention to how to evaluate sources in the information literacy workshop. Okay. Last thing before this wraps up, I'm running out of time. Sorry this went so long. So you can see, right, week 5, I explained the research essay. I have some resources for you. There's a research essay topics discussion. The proposal and annotated bibliography is due. And there's a research essay quiz. Week 6, and again, in addition to the library workshops, the information literacy, please do those. They are required workshops for graduation, so do them now rather than waiting and making them up later. It would be really helpful for you to do now, helpful for your research essay and your proposal and annotated bibliography. So for week 6, next week, we'll have a research essay peer review, and then the due date of the research essay is July 23rd. And then there's an end of class course feedback page. That's optional, but certainly I would appreciate it. What I'm going to say though, the research essay in our last day, official day of class, is July 23rd. I've got some time after that before I have to turn in the grades, so I'm going to say that July 31st will be the date that everything is due. So if you want to revise an essay or you need more time on the research essay, July 31st, okay, is the final due date where everything is due. So I wanted to give you more time. This is a very tough, exceptional time right now. So yeah, I hope that helps. Hope everyone's okay. Let me know whenever you have questions or concerns. All right. Have a good rest of your summer session. Take care.